Hello, hello. Welcome to Four Laps on ATYL Media. We're going to talk about all things IndyCar this season here. I'm Alex. You may recognize me from the Gay Racing podcast. We talk about racing over there as well. But today we're going to focus on IndyCar. We're going to get you all caught up on everything that happened in IndyCar in the off season and getting you ready for this year's storylines. We're going to have 4 laps to do it. So we're going to have 4 different main stories going into this season. Let's jump right into it. First things first, fresh off the Super Bowl, IndyCar was present in 3 ads, and that is something I don't think has ever happened. I don't know if a driver has even appeared in a Super Bowl ad before. Will Buxton is going to be a lead commentator. I haven't heard him lead commentate anything before. That's going to be really interesting. I'm willing to give him a shot. James Hinchcliffe and Townsend Bell are going to be following him from NBC to Fox. I think that's a solid pairing. It'll keep some consistency for the diehard IndyCar fans who've been following for a while, and it'll bring some familiarity to the booth. James Hinchcliffe, I think, has been phenomenal since he joined the NBC booth. I'm so glad he is joining Fox Sports. As I said, Fox, they've been going all in on marketing. They had 3 Super Bowl ads for IndyCar promoting the St. Pete race coming up. And this kind of marketing, I don't think I've ever seen for anything related to IndyCar. It has been a problem in IndyCar marketing, the social media, across the board. IndyCar deserves a lot higher viewership, and hopefully we get that with Fox. Another thing with Fox going into viewership, every single race is going to be on Big Fox, not FS1, not FS2, not some streaming map you've never even heard of. It's going to be on Big Fox. I think that's a win for the series. This TV deal, though, in my opinion, is going to make or break the series. It is a huge deal to be on Big Fox, and you're getting all this marketing that you haven't gotten before. There's a lot of pressure into this. So in my opinion, I think this is a risky move for IndyCar to go to Fox. We've seen their NASCAR coverage. Fox's NASCAR coverage has not been great the past 6 or so years. So I'm pretty worried. But when you exclude that information, this deal is a home run for IndyCar. Every race is on Big Fox. They're getting marketing. They're getting marketed that they never have before. I think this is a fantastic move. It's just, can Fox do better than they have with NASCAR? I really hope so. I hope Will Buxton's great in the booth. James Hinchcliffe will be good. Townsend Bell is going to be making us jump out of our seats with his woes. I'm excited. I'm cautiously optimistic, though, for the future of this. Now let's head into lap 2. Joseph Newgarden is attempting history. Something that's never been done is a three-peat at the Indianapolis 500. Of course, drivers have won more than 3. We have several drivers who have won 4, but never 3 in a row. Elio Castroneves nearly did this about 20 years ago, but Joseph Newgarden's trying to win 3 in a row. He's won the last 2 Indy 500s. In my opinion, it's definitely possible. I might be a little biased, but Joseph Newgarden has just been just a whole different driver at Indianapolis in recent years. He's been close before, but now that he's won 2 in a row, I'm not sure they can stop him. I mean, what is stopping him? Now that he has the confidence, he knows he can win at Indianapolis. He has talked about a new mindset Joseph Newgarden has going into that race. He's like, if his new mindset has been, I don't have to win every single race, but I know that I can. It's been such an interesting dynamic shift for him these last few years. But I have to wonder, is he going to want to focus more in on the season at large? Is he going to want to win elsewhere outside of Indianapolis? Is there going to be some interest pulled out of Indy for the full season? I don't think so, because it's the Indy 500. You're always going to be focused on the Indy 500. But Joseph wants to win a championship. He hasn't won a championship since 2019, which I know doesn't sound that long ago, but it was 6 years ago now. Let that sink in for a second. Yeah, that's right. 2019 was 6 years ago. I couldn't believe that either. But personally, I'd love it if Joseph Newgarden could go for three-peat. But at the same time, it wouldn't hurt my feelings if they shifted Team Penske's mindset over to the full season at large. Now going into lap 3, Alex Palou is also going for a three-peat. He's going for 3 championships in a row. Will his dominance continue? Man, I sure think it could. Alex Palou just kind of seems like the 2000s Jimmy Johnson if you're a NASCAR fan, or just Scott Dixon his whole career. And Pelot's only been in the series for a very short time. And I mean, he won his first season at Ganassi in the championship. He won his first race for Ganassi right out the gate. He's just kind of been remarkable. I think this could be the year he finally gets his first oval win. I don't see any reason for him to slow down either. And perhaps he could finally get the Indy 500 win if Joseph doesn't go three in a row. Maybe that'll be his oval win. I think Alex Plou's going to be the guy to beat in the overall championship. And a lot of that goes back to lap two. Can Joseph put a full season together? Otherwise, I think it's still Palou to beat. Now going into our final lap, lap four, we're going to talk about the most notable driver changes and new team adjustments that happened throughout the offseason, get you all caught up. There are more than what I'm about to mention, but we're going to stick to the big four that I'd like to highlight for lap four. First of all, Prema is joining the IndyCar series. This is pretty exciting. They're pretty well known over in Europe. And they are bringing in Callum Ilott, which is a name you likely know, and they're also bringing in Robert Schwartzman. I'm so excited for Callum Ilott to have a full-time ride. I think he deserves one. He deserved one in his brief stint prior. I'm glad he had some success in his year off from IndyCar last year. He did a couple IndyCar starts last year, but he had some good luck over in sports cars. Glad he's back though in IndyCar. Alexander Rossi has moved to Ed Carpenter Racing. He'll be alongside Christian Rasmussen. Side note, if you're not following Christian Rasmussen on TikTok, highly recommend. He's making me laugh quite a lot, and I think he's getting a lot of attention for that. It's been fun to follow. But Alexander Rossi, I think this is his last chance with like a not a big team, but like a core kind of team. I thought he was going to be better at McLaren, and he didn't really impress me there at all. I thought getting away from Andretti, where that relationship just was not gelling toward the end there. I thought getting out of there would be good for him. It I don't know if he ran any better at McLaren. He's taking a step down to Ed Carpenter Racing, but we've seen this team exceed expectations before. I think especially at the Indianapolis 500, Rossi will be a huge threat there. We've seen ECR be very great at Indy. It's just a full season. Can he actually get top 10 in points? I don't know. I'm not confident for Alexander Rossi, and maybe I'll be eating crow in a year's time, but I really think if Rossi doesn't perform, I think they'll give him at least 2 years at ECR, maybe more. But if he doesn't perform well, I'd say his full-time career might be over. He might be an Indy 500 only. Maybe he'll do some IMSA races and everything, but I think it's make or break for Alexander Rossi. Next up, we have David Malukas, who is moving to AJ Foyt Racing. He was going to be full time at McLaren last year until he had a bike incident. He didn't meet his contract. He was supposed to make at least a race or two. So he gets pulled from McLaren and he goes to Meyer Shank Racing for a few races last year. Had some pretty impressive runs. I think him at AJ Foyt's going to be a pretty good pairing. I don't know if my expectations are he'll win a race. If he's going to win a race, it'll be Gateway. And we've seen that is clearly his best track. I could see him getting a top 10 in Indianapolis. Santino Ferrucci's been really good at Indy the most recent years for Foyt. Do I think he's going to be top 10 in points? No. I think for Malukas, though, he just needs to have a full, clean season. He didn't get to do that last year. And then he was with Coin prior to that. And that's not the most subpar equipment. So I think for him, just a clean season. Ultimate goal would be like 10th in points, but my expectation for him is probably around, 13th in points. Lastly, number 4 here, we have McLaren's lineup. For now, because we have Pato Award, we have Christian Lundgaard coming over from Ray Hall, and then you also have Nolan Siegel, who took over that number 6 car mid-season. Will they actually maintain this lineup? I don't know. That's gonna be a storyline to follow. If they actually maintain a driver lineup for the entire season, that's gonna be a big story. So I don't think they've done that since they've come into the sport. If they have, it was maybe the first year or 2. So I'm hoping they will. I think Lundgaard and Siegel are going to do okay. It's just to McLaren standards, will it be good enough? I don't know. Pato will be there. Pato will be there the whole season. I'm not concerned about him. Now, lastly, my opinion on all the driver changes that we've discussed or did not discuss, Linus Lundqvist is the odd man left out. I think he was robbed here. He absolutely should have gotten a ride. In my opinion, he should have gotten the Meyer Shank Racing ride over Marcus Armstrong. I don't think there's any reason that Linus Lundqvist should not have gotten a ride, whether it was a 66 or something else. Quite honestly, I would have gone with him over Alex Rossi for the Ed Carpenter ride, but maybe that's a hot take. I don't know. But I hope Linus Lundqvist, kind of like Callum Ilott, comes back into IndyCar, finds his place because that guy was so impressive. He was leading laps. He was running well up front. I believe in his debut, he was filling in for Simon Pagenaud, and he was just so impressed. Like he was doing really well in that ride as well. I just think he would be such a good fit anywhere in IndyCar. I'm just shocked that he didn't get a ride. But with that, the 4 laps are up. We've set our qualifying speed at Indianapolis, and we will see you next time. You can follow me at New Gaden on pretty much all the socials. I'm primarily posting on Blue Sky, but I'm there. My podcast is at Gay Racing Pod pretty much everywhere. You can follow ATYL Media at ATYL Media everywhere. And follow the Gay Racing Podcast. My best friend Zach and I, we're going to be talking about the Daytona 500 uh, later this week. So we have a lot of fun. And we'll also talk about IndyCar when those races get going. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Bye.